If you go down to the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. M. Night Shyamalan is back with another spooky movie with a twist in the tale. I'm Stephen Archibald and welcome to my movie podcast. Hello, I bid you a warm welcome to They Came From Within Cult Movie Reviews. Knocking on Heaven's Door. Knock at the Cabin 2023. Knock at the Cabin is quite an unsettling little horror movie. How could it not be when it has an apocalyptic theme? When is a 7-year-old girl who's been adopted by the personable couple Eric and Andrew. We first encounter her in an idyllic scene, not far from a remote log cabin she is sharing with her parents. Then all of a sudden, a hulking figure emerges from out of nowhere. Calling himself Leonard, this stranger tries to ingratiate himself with the child. We get to observe Wen's uncertainty and discomfort vie with her trustworthy nature. It's an opening which is brilliantly handled, due to the fact that the viewer is left feeling deeply apprehensive about what might happen next. I'm not sure if I was more relieved or disturbed when 3 more individuals showed up, calling themselves Adrian, Sabrina and Redmond. Leonard is portrayed by Dave Bautista and Adrian by Abby Quinn. A couple of Brits take the parts of Sabrina and Redmond, the former being Nicky Amuka Bird and the latter Ron Weasley himself, Rupert Grint, in a part a million miles away from J.K. Rowling's creation. This menacing looking quartet break into the cabin and tie up the couple. It is then put to the frightened and bewildered trio that one of them has to die in order to save the world. And, to be more precise, one of the 3 has to carry out the killing, and suicide is not permitted. This forms the crux of an awful yet compelling conundrum for the viewer. How will such an intense, scary, claustrophobic situation play out? Rather badly, one fears. And without giving much else away, strange rituals will be followed, and death will be inevitable. Knock at the Cabin is the big screen adaptation of a novel by Paul G. Tremblay entitled The Cabin at the End of the World, which was first published in 2018. Tremblay had secretly signed a deal in 2017 with the production company Film Nation Entertainment to make his as yet unpublished novel into a movie. Steve Desmond and Michael Sherman wrote a screenplay, but despite their script receiving much glowing attention, nothing came about until Shyamalan expressed an interest in producing it. Shyamalan then made the decision to rewrite the script and to serve as the movie's director. The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Split and Glass are M. Night Shyamalan's most celebrated movies to date. Only time will tell whether this movie will become as loved as the aforementioned titles. It certainly held my attention from beginning to end, and it received largely positive reviews from the critics. The British actor Ben Aldridge plays Andrew. On television, his roles included playing Captain Charles James in the military drama series Argyll, and Bruce Wayne's father Thomas in Pennyworth. And the American actor Jonathan Goff portrays his partner Eric, who's left concussed towards the start of the picture. Little Wen is played by Kristen Cui, and her performance is just as nuanced as the grown-ups. Cinematographer Jarin Blask's attractive visuals are crisp and vivid, and he certainly has a talent for framing scary movies, as his credits include The Witch from 2015, The Lighthouse from 2019, and last year's The Northman. Incidentally, all three movies were directed by Robert Eggers. The tension mounts in this picture, what with having 4 invaders who claim they had not met before that day, each compelled by an inexplicable force and dark visions of mass death. Their menacing appearance is heightened further by the fact that they each carry unusual but rather deadly implements. This really is a tale of biblical proportions. Having made his name as a mega popular wrestler, Dave Bautista is now carving out quite a career in fantasy and horror movies. Apart from playing Drax the Destroyer in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, he's also appeared in such pictures as Riddick, Spectre, Blade Runner 2049, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, and the 2021 version of Dune. It was Dave's performance in Blade Runner 2049 which got him the part in this movie. Shyamalan was impressed that a hulking man could emote so effectively. In the tradition of Alfred Hitchcock, Shyamalan makes a cameo appearance in the film. He's seen as a salesman on a TV advert, plugging an air fryer. Best known to UK audiences for her roles in such BBC dramas as Survivors and Luther, Nikki Amuka Bird had worked with M. Night Shyamalan before, on his previous movie, Old, from 2021. Most recently, she was one of the lead actors in Armando Iannucci's sci-fi comedy series, Avenue 5. And as for Rupert Grint, he was one of the stars of the spooky US TV series Servant. Shyamalan was one of that show's executive producers. The movie plays cleverly with such concerns as conspiracy theories and echo chambers, as well as the possibility of religious fervour resulting in intolerance. Andrew certainly spends a good part of the film fearing that he and his partner Eric have been targeted simply because they happen to be gay. However, bigotry doesn't play a part in this eerie tale. Several alarming news reports put paid to this. Knock at the Door cost around $20 million to make, and it made just short of $55 million at the box office. So, in commercial terms, it's proved to be a modest success. I think that it having an atmospheric but hard to remember title couldn't have helped. Key changes were made to Tremblay's source novel, but I won't disclose what they are. Tremblay's novel was destined to wind up on the silver screen, seeing that it won the Horror Writers Association's Bram Stoker Award for Novel in 2019, and that on Twitter, Stephen King referred to it as being thought-provoking and terrifying. Filming took place mostly in Burlington in New Jersey and Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, and it was shot between the 19th of April and the 10th of June 2022, going on general release on the 3rd of February of this year. If you love prophecy movies, Knock at the Cabin should hit the spot. I'm Stephen Archibald, and thank you very much for listening to my podcast, They Came From Within Cult Movie Reviews. Facebook and YouTube listeners can find all of my podcasts via most podcast hosts. Thanks again, take care, and bye-bye for now.